Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're playing some 5 cent, 10 cent full ring ante on GG Poker. Planning on just recording my entire session. There will be times when I dry up card-wise and dry up with things to say. I would recommend watching this video on double speed because there will be some probably quite boring periods during it where nothing much is happening and I run out of inanities. Please drop a like, leave a comment, all of those things. All very much appreciated. And of course, I make these videos to spam the poker club I'm involved with. So if you could at least click the Facebook link beneath the video. And if you're interested in joining the private group I'm involved with, and it is a good group, please message the Telegram address to beneath the video. I'd be very grateful. Don't feel obliged to do that, of course. Do feel obliged to subscribe to this YouTube channel and leave a like. I'd very much like as much of that as possible. But for the private club stuff, if it's just not interesting you, I totally get that, and that's fine. But it is the main reason, or the only reason really, that I make content these days. So any support that way would be greatly appreciated. Right, let's get on to playing, hopefully, a couple of hours of full ring. Like I said, I won't be chattering the whole time because often there just isn't that much to chatter about in these games, but they are relatively fun games. They're, of course, propped by a bunch of, like, mass tabling shit regs, myself included. But that said, there aren't many, like, actual good players in here. And even though the rake is high, I still think these games are beatable. Post-rake back, pre-rake back, I'm not convinced they are. But you get the rake back. You get, like, if you play 200 big steep and you get several coolers in a day, you get above average chips every day in the GG Cares free roll, which amounts to good rake back in the longer term. So I think pre-rake back, not that great. Hard to have a decent win rate. Post-rake back, probably okay. Especially if you're just kind of playing for fun. You know what I mean? I'm not taking this dead seriously. It's 10. I'm taking it seriously and I'm playing and trying my hardest. But it's not like I'm in here grinding 40 hours a week trying to make money. It's just very much a pastime for me. I'm going to set mine here with the threes. Going very multi-way. Hoping not to get squeezed by Fatty Huang. We do get squeezed. Sadly, we are not going to be presented with the opportunity to set mine. This is just going to be nuts always, or close to nuts, like very nutted range. No one's getting out here doing this with the ace-4 suited, etc. in these games. Played enough of them to know that now. My overall population reads are there is very, very, very little actual, like, legitimate bluffing going on post-flop. Most of the aggression just comes from strong ranges, and then maybe people overplaying good hands and kind of protection merging too much, I would say. Too much merging going on for, like, larger sizes and just strong ranges. Very little bluffing. Not a fan of this small 3-bet here from someone who's currently playing an 11V pip, but the sample is small. We've got 2 kings. We're just going to try and be all in and hope not to run into aces. Pretty sad when you're happy not to get jammed on. You've got 2 kings and you're thinking, don't jam. Pretty sad. But that is the nature of No Limit Hold'em in 2025, sadly. My VPIP in these games overall comes out at around 16%. That's probably too tight given the ante, but I don't know how to do any better than that because, like most players, I am a shit reg. Jack 5 here. We'll consider check raising, depending on size. I'm going to check raise here and just like fold if he shoves because he's not going to shove King Jack very often, etc. That might be terrible, by the way, but that was going to be the plan. Check raise fold. Pretty much, excuse me, pretty much just c-bet in my entire range for a small size most of the time post flop. Not really paying too much heed to the boards and the textures, etc. Just range bet, see what happens. I'm going to continue betting the turn for a small size, folding to a raise, and then checking back river. I don't think if we check back, the bluffs come through at a high enough frequency. People just don't bluff. They just don't bluff. They just merge and have value for the most part. I was chatting to my lad last night, and I would estimate that people's overall, like pure air bluffing frequency, excuse me, is sub 10%. That population in general. And as I said, most of the aggression on flops and turns doesn't come from bluffs. It comes from merges and just like when players have like reasonable equity. So I guess semi-bluffing. Like flops, turns, the aggression comes from semi-bluffing, pure value and merges. And on rivers, it just comes from like thick value and merges and very few bluffs. So that's what I base my entire strategy on. And those that aren't doing that, just probably do quite well against me because I almost certainly overfold versus turn and river aggression, which I think as a general underlying strategy or underpinning strategy is the correct strategy. Could I apply more nuance to that? Yeah, if I was playing fewer tables, had a decent HUD running. But I'm not playing fewer tables and I don't have a decent HUD running. So I'm just going to rely on my baseline population reads. So this guy's got an 8% VPIP over 77 hands. We're just flattening the button with the ace-10 suited. I'm going to size up on this turn if we get check 2 with the king 10 and then check back the river. Let's c-bet into here. Going to float 1. He might shut down on turns. Definitely checking back this river if this player allows us to. So we've got an 18 VPIP who's like now double barreling. This is just going to, sorry, an 8 VPIP. This is going to be an insanely strong range, you would imagine. Obviously, with our raw flush draw, we're just calling. %0 chance I'm going to raise into that range. Now he checks the river. He's either got nothing or he's trying to bluff catch. One of the two. Just going to do this. Am I? No. I'm just going to give up. Queen Jack off. So that's a prime example of what I was just saying. This guy's like an 8% VPIP. I think flop seat, well, like the Queen Jack off open, considers an 8 or 9 VPIP. Surprises me. The flop C bet didn't surprise me. Then he just merged the turn for a big size, which pretty much backs up exactly what I've just been saying at the intro to the video. I mean, he misled me there with this like queen jack off, because there's no way queen jack off barrels for a big size in that spot. Theoretically, it just doesn't fucking do it. It's just like fundamentally bad poker. But it's what people are doing. And then they get to rivers and they just end up like checking a heck of a lot of the time with all their merger shit that's put too much money in on the earlier streets, and then just like try to show down too much. I'm glad that hand came up, even though we lost it, because it just absolutely perfectly and accurately sums up exactly what I've been saying during the start of this video. Oh. Two players missing here, so we're just going to go 4 big blinds rather than 5. As I said, on flops, I'm just relentlessly rage betting. Again, 2 people sitting out at this table, so we're just 4xing. He blocks here. Not folding queens with the spade. Expect to lose a lot, but we don't need to win a lot. And this time again, as I said, just a lot of merging going on. Not bluffing, just a whole lot of merging. I'm actually not going to give a fuck about being exploited here, and I'm just going to size up with the king jack from range bet to slightly bigger. Are people going to pick up on that? Maybe 1 in 50. The rest of the time, I don't really care. It's got a better hand. Going to use a bigger size. Not really too bothered about being balanced and consistent. It's going to have like the range bet, small lazy range bet as my default strategy, and then deviate from that when my hand wants to deviate, basically. This table loses 1 more player, we'll request a table change, because we are trying to make a full ring video, not a 6 max video. Although 6 max with Ante would be pretty cool, to be fair. King 3 suited. Guy doesn't seem overly aggressive. Going to go with the 3 bet on the button. Take it down. Again, don't want to check back here and call turns, because the turn range won't have enough bluffs in it. It'll just have value and merges. So just going to stab. If he calls, we're just going to check back a lot of turns And probably with this hand, fold a lot of rivers. Now just going to take what little showdown value we have here. And it won't be a lot, but we do have showdown value against that. Limp and an unknown player. Min isolating. No time for that shit. Pocket nines. Don't want a 3-bet. Just going to call. Face half pot C-bet. Call. Not going to range bet multi-way Queen 9-3. This guy snap checks back the turn. He would continue betting a jack almost for certain. One would imagine. I might go for a check raise on this river. He might try and thin value bet King X. Nope. I have to check him back. He might like check back Ace King and then try to thin value bet the river. And then hopefully overfold to a check raise, but he just gave up. Right, this table needs moving from because 6 players left. And I want to be on full tables. 20/10, 10 hands. Hasn't got many chips, but 2 green tags in the blinds. We'll set mine the button. And miss. Versus a third, I'm going to call the 5s. Again, I think it's going to be like wildly underbluffed. But on later streets, but on flops, people just stab a lot. Not going to try and turn 5s into a bluff because I doubt he's going to fall better very often. Oh, someone's blind all in straddling. And we're just going to try and show our 5s down against like Ace King, Ace Jack, other random stuff. Just stabbed Queen Jack, check the turn flush draw, check the river. Which is obviously very passive, too passive. The blind all in has the 4 and the 3. And he's dead. I don't tag rigs anymore. So when you see these orange tags, I just fucking untag them. It's just so depressing if you tag like every like multi-tabler or type player, you'd never join the table because you're like that shit. So now I only tag fish and just anyone untagged. They're either unknown or like shit regs. 3-bet in the kings. I just use pot when I 3-bet in position for consistency's sake. We've got to take account of the antes in the middle. deeper stacks, etc. So rather than piss around trying to figure out what size do I want to go, I just mash the pot button. And then when out of position, I mash the pot button and add a few more big blinds. It's not especially scientific, but it's good enough. Just need to send someone a voice note. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Didn't miss a thing there. Not a thing. Going to be set mine in with the deuces here. Missing. Now, you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, across YouTube, talking about having to defend pretty wide versus small bets. Whilst that is very true in theory world, I don't think it's especially true at the micro stakes. So I don't. But I am, as I say on every video that is shit reg. This is not meant to be educational. Fuck. It's probably not even that entertaining. It's just shit reg spamming and shilling. Don't care about this guy's stats. He's playing 50 big blinds, so he's undoubtedly a fish. We have a limp and an ISO. Contemplating 3-bet in there, but decided against it. Somebody playing an 82 VPIP. That's interesting. Queen 10 suited. When we flat here, we open ourselves up to being squeezed, which is disappointing. I don't want to 3-bet when the guy's only got 50 big blinds, so, and I don't want to fold my hand, so I'm going to call with it. And now at SPR 5, if he's got a better hand than us, he's just going to get paid. He's going to fast play. If he's got me, he's got me. Limp and a post here. Then raise the post that raises. Sorry, not going to fold a suited ace on the button. 39.22. Easy 3-bet with the queens. Called Jack 4-4 flop. Actually going to size up here with my c-bet to half pot. Hoping not to get check raised. Don't think I'm going to fold if he does, but I won't be happy about it. Being 3-bet here with King 10 suited by somebody called Bluffer. And cold call by a whale. That's it, you brought me in. The whale has brought me in here. And we are going to check shove this flop. Ace 5 suited. It's going to fold middle position. We do not get to check raise. Which is disappointing. Felt like probing there, but didn't particularly want to. Oh, Jesus. 34 to win 154. Probably not quite getting direct odds, but our implied odds are good. Ugh. Probably just check folding. We improved, but not in the way we wanted to. Don't really know what 6x this player has. Oh, you so would have fucking stacked me if you'd gone for it on the flop, sir. You so would have stacked me. That would have been a massive pot, wouldn't it? Because he was going nowhere with his flush draw. We were going nowhere with our flush draw, and he had the aces. To be fair, I think his flop check's reasonable to check into this guy in position. Well, I don't know how aggressive he is post-flop, and given he didn't bet his flush draw, I'm going to guess the answer to that question is not very. 7-3 suited in the big blind, getting good pot odds. This guy has a big gap between his VP and PFR, though, which probably suggests he's just got strong hands when he's raising. Not folding top pair for half pot, but not looking to call down unless we improve. Versus min here, we're just going to call the king jack in the small blind. We're just going to fold versus c-bet. Going to start bluffing this turn with the 10-7. Just got our hands completely worthless. So we're going to bet small, and then we're going to bomb the river if he calls. Maybe not on the ace. Maybe not on the ace. He's going to have so much ace high in his check back. and then call a small term probe range. Do we have a check raise here? No, it's just not credible, is it? I don't think he's got a particularly strong hand. I think he's capped having like ace X, but don't trust people to bet fold. Another guy here sat with the broken stack. I don't care what his stats are. He's a fish. Flopping top two. I think they're going to be pretty inelastic with their spades. Going to size up from 1/3 to half. Turning the notes, which is nice. Now we are going to downsize. Don't want him to fold a spade when the board's paired. We get check raise, which is fucking delightful. No reason to do anything but call. Flat the suited king nine. Obviously all in here. Suspect we're not getting called too often, but you never know. Oh, we get snap called. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Dance for me, Danny. Dance for me. Come on, Danny, where you at? Go on, Danny. Throw those shapes. And there we go. There's some free roll chips immediately, which is basically a little bit of extra rate back in the long term. Going to stab this king nine and then blast the river. It's checked twice now. Once again, it's not a nice river to blast on. Lots of rivers I will blast. Again, I just don't trust people to fold ace X here anymore. If that was like a 7 or like a 5 or something, I would have just blasted all day. This table's down to 6-handed, so we'll request a table change. Try and show these nines down if we can. Probably check calling turn, because as I said, people will just merge too much. They will just bet worse hands for value / protection / bet because bet. I think a queen probably would have bet the flop. Now it's been check raised. We're just out. I would probe this turn a lot with weak hands. For a small size, because I've got a straight, I'm going to make it slightly bigger. Get the snap fold, sadly. As you can see, my VPIP across tables is starting to level out at around 15 average, which is what I typically expect to see. Regardless of what game I'm playing, be it full ring, be it 5 max on 365, be it 6 max somewhere else, my VPIPs for each particular game type are pretty consistent long term. There's very little deviation. So if you see me at a table and it's 8, it's very much to do with distribution and nothing else. Going to call this pair of 6s on the turn. I think versus this size, I'm just going to call the river. Totally and utterly unthrilled by it, but probably going to do it. 7's nice answer. As I said, not a lot of bluffing, probably quite a lot of merging. If they'd bet bigger there, I would not have called. But he sized it in a way that I didn't want to fold. We're sitting min raise versus an ISO. Don't care what his stats are. It's a fish. $36 VPIPs opened here. I was very, 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 very likely to 3-bet this hand, but someone's beat us to it. So never mind. Queen 6 suited in the big blind. Because he's got that big gap between his VPIP and PFR, we are just calling. No, we're not, because someone's 3-bet. ISO in ace-3 suited. Never c-bet in this flop in a million years. Facing the probe. Just going to let it go. Sorry, not the probe, the donk. Queen 10 suited. I think I'm going to squeeze here. Because we're squeezing, we're going to make it not 100%, but 75%. Yep, 4-bet. And at this depth versus this relatively small size, I am deeply, deeply uncomfortable. But we're not folding because there's lots and lots of depth behind. I expect to see larger c-bets on this board. He quickly comes with 1/3. And with 3-2 a flush, 3-2 a straight. This is where I get in trouble in these. This is where a lot of my win rate just leaks out. Because I'm not going to fold here when his range is probably just very, very strong. Going to bet really small here on the turn, just force him to raise me when he's got aces, etc. Maybe we just get ace-king to fold straight away. And probably just punt the river if he calls. But he folds. And this time, our spew got through. Not calling ace-5 suited slap bang in the middle of the field, especially after we just 3-bet him and played a pot. Oh, we'd have flopped a flush draw. I think we're going to isolate this queen 8 if it folds to us. Dry side pot, so no point bluffing here. Don't know about these like weak suited aces from early position in these games. I just don't know. But we do it anyway. Pretty rubbish flop with a 9-5. Good shot. Quick c-bet with a good shot. We're going to peel one. Ace-6 suited. Probably going to 3-bet this hand versus someone who seems very active. Now this guy's called, given the antes and what have you and stack depth, I think we just have to call these suited aces in the small blind. Just bank on not getting squeezed anywhere near frequently enough. I mean, we do here, but just bank on not being squeezed anywhere near frequent enough to make it really bad. When we do get squeezed, we obviously just have to fold. (19/9) easy fold with the ace jack off. Obviously, like a really weak tight player. So just going to massively respect their early position range, even though it's probably got random hands in there you wouldn't expect a 19-9 to have. But the fact he's playing 19-9 means he's probably just some weak, tight shit reg and won't have well-constructed ranges. So ace-jack might be doing just fine there, who knows? But just going to defer to the fact that he's weak and tight and he's not going to have too many weak hands in there. versus the quick small bet with the queen deuce call. Turn ace. Would expect a lot of barrel in there. Did not see it. If he tries to bet this river for like half pot, I am going to just check raise. I think he's going to be capped and then thin value hunting. This guy squeezes here. We're just going to be so all in. But he didn't. 0 VPIP, only 6 hands. It's open from relatively early position, so we're just going to call, not going to 3-bet. Flopping top set. Versus a big C-bet here. He's going to check raise straight away versus a big C-bet. I think this range is just going to be pretty strong. Do get a call. Turn brick. 67 in the pot. It's going to size just below 50 big blinds. It's giving up on this dry board. And obviously shoving the river and hoping he doesn't have 2 queens. His range is basically flush draws, aces, kings, queens. Obviously all in. And we get the fold. But it was nice. Nice pot. Happy days. Three bet the ace king versus someone who's playing those stats. Off down the set man on the bottom right table again. Can we flop a set 2 times in a row? Nope. This guy 4 bets here. I'm going to be very sad. I'm just going to fall to this. This range is just extremely nutted. Not in a rush to get 200 bigs in pre. Looks like it's going to work for him. Looks like he's going to take it down. This guy's in the tank with jacks or whatever. 9s. Stuff like that. Spending a lot of time banks on it. Jesus Christ, man. Get the fuck on with it. There's 8 million time banks and then folds. And that's 45 seconds of my life I'll never get back. So we have this pan juice here, 25 hands 2016, up here 25 hands 38 34. So you can see how unreliable these actual stats are over a small sample. This 7-5 suited we're going to peel. I wouldn't normally peel this in a non-ante game. But given the antes are in there too, I'm just going to flick it in. Try and make a good hand. Versus the very multi-way stab, we're just folding. Hope this table doesn't lose another player because we've got a nice stack at this table and we're deep in position with somebody. But we're not going to drop to six-handed. This red rabbit is like a leaderboard grinder, I think. Seen him play these games, seen him play a bit higher, etc. He might even play 2 lobbies, I don't know. If it wasn't for this kind of big blind, I would already have left this table. Not fucking 5% of VPP here. It's not an especially good table apart from this guy. So we'll be keeping my eye on it and dropping it if it gets worse. Or if this guy's stack drops to like 50 bigs or something, then we just leave. $21.11 4xing. I mean, we're going to 3-bet. We're going to fold to a 4-bet. Get called. If I had a Queen's plus here, I'd bet half pot. We don't have Queen's plus, so he's going to bet 1/3. Six turn. 2 options here. Just empty the clip. Try and get like 8s, 9s, 10s to fold. Or pretty much give up. Do I want to empty the clip? Maybe. He's snap called twice. She's all quite sad. I think theoretically here I should just fucking rip it. But in practice, I think when he's snap called twice, it's just not going to fold. Wow. Maybe we should just empty the clip there. I just thought Jack X minimum, maybe even Queens. And just the speed of the call. I mean, it's a 3-bet pot. We've c-bet small. We've barreled the turn it. Yet only half pot. But for the game, it's a relatively big bet. And he's just gone, yeah, call. He's just called 3 streets. I don't think we can reasonably expect them to be folding too many rivers on such a dry run out. But I am a shit reg, and maybe that is completely shit from me. Maybe we're just supposed to give up the turn, or if we don't give up, maybe we're just supposed to barrel off. I don't fucking know. How the fucking hell would you expect me to know? I'm going to 3-bet the Queen 10 suited versus someone who looks like they're playing too many hands. Look at the size of this fucking 3-bet. Jeez Louise. This is messy, bottom right table. I'm going to just shitty stab flop for 1/3. The plan here, stab flop 1/3, fold to a raise, and then check back most turns and probably call a lot of rivers. That's my current game plan. Not in love with the Jack of Diamonds river. Oof, look at the size of that bet. Oh, thank you, sir. This guy's C-bet multi-way. Oh, look at it as well. Look at his stats. Never, never, never check raising this guy. Turning a flush. Going to lead because I don't want him checking back an ace. Sadly, he folds. Uh, 6-7 deuce. Just going to C-bet for a large size. Play for stacks against this guy. Worry about it if this guy doesn't fuck off. Here's 10 off versus min call. Just going to go for a big old squeeze here and just try and collect. I think these like shitty small raise sizes are just... I mean, I've toyed with all kinds of raise sizes in these games. I think they're just really bad, frankly. He does call. And now we were bluffing pre-flop and now we made a hand. And these are spots I find very difficult. Very difficult. Now I'm literally lost. Can say with complete honesty, I have no fucking clue how to proceed here. I don't like any of my options. I guess we're just going to keep betting because I don't want to check call. What we've got here, limp, and ISO, we're out. Try to remember to open any 2 on the button in these games. I sometimes miss some. My overall strategy is if folded 2 on the button, just literally open 100%. As I say, I do miss some. I've probably already missed some on this video. Pocket queens. Squeezing it up, of course. I think with this many callers, we're just going to use the larger size. Mr. C-bet on this flop, which is annoying. Been 3-bet here. Because of the depth, we're going to call the Queen 10 suited. Facing a large probe, trivial fold. This guy's got no chips left, so we're just all in. Flattening the jacks on the button versus 18-11. He's got 10-4 suited, which is great news. I think we can safely blue tag this guy. Versus half pot probe, we're calling because people will merge too much and then probably hugely overfolding the river. Now it's just a question of can we go for value or not. I don't think so. Probably actually, but I'm not going to. Yeah, and again, just like all these, like really, you see them all the time, like flops and turns, super mergy, river. Just usually only good hands. Whether he would have called or not with sixes there, only he knows. So my population reads are good. My execution isn't always great, but my population reads are really good. And they are good for probably quite like 90% plus of the low stakes population. It's a bedrock of my strategy. Whichever games I play, full ring, 6 max, 5 max on the app, it's just super reliable. It's a super reliable population read. I need to get better at playing rivers, but then again, we all do. I mean, maybe that was a slam dunk value bet there when he probed turn but didn't bet river. Maybe when he probes turn and doesn't bet river, he never has a king, or has a king so rarely that we can just seek thin value. What do we want to do with our? Now he's come along. We have a trivial call with the eights. Never going to squeeze his hand. Wouldn't be surprised if Red Rabbit's one of the players who's just has check raises here on 5-5 deuce. So I'm going to be prepared for that. Goes for the check call, then the donk. With Queen Jack off, with Queen Jack suited there. No draw, trivial fold. No idea what he's doing. Doubt he does either. He might think he does, but he's 10-0 regular, so he probably doesn't. Just like the rest of us. I've got a lot of vibration on my phone, so just quickly going to check messages. Do any need replying to? Got a message on Discord from my son, which looks very much like my granddaughter or grandson on his laptop, because it's just the most random fucking message. But nothing that warrants a reply right now. Just opening 4x with only one player to get through. I think on this texture, I'm actually going to go with a big bet and just be one and done. with the 9-4 off. Get called. So he's like called pre and then just called a pot size bet. He's either got an ace, a very good king, or a flush draw. We might just have sucked out. We indeed did. I'm not surprised to see this big 3-bet. He's probably a bit pissed off with the last hand. Obviously, nothing we're going to do with the 4s. Jack 10 suited. It's going to flick in a call. Ace king, we're just going to stab our entire range. Turning the nuts, which is nice. It's going to blast. Which is going to blast full pot. Just targeting 2 pairs, etc. Just targeting good hands, basically. Snap folds, never mind. On this, don't really want to face a double barrel here. Definitely don't want to reopen the betting. And definitely want to raise versus block. Definitely do not want to get jammed on. He called us very light there, which I'm very happy about. With the suited ace versus this ISO there. Ooh, it's a fun flop. Check back, then big. Not raising, not folding, so calling. River in 2 pairs. I have to check call here, I guess. He just shuts it down. Just jamming this flop because of his stack size. Don't normally open 5s, but we've got a blue tag in the big blind, so I'm doing it. 7, sorry. Completely bricking with the 7s, bricking with the jacks. Here we're going to check call the jacks on the turn because there will be some merging going on. And then just folding the river. Picking up the kings, flatting a suited ace on the button. Getting 3-bet by an 8% VPIP, which is quite nauseating. Just 4-bet getting it in and being sad about it. Taking it down, which is better than being jammed on, I suppose. Not going to bet this pair and flush draw on the turn. River in the nuts. And just going to pot it. Goodness gracious me. New small 4-bet fold the ace king. Zero interest in being all in pre-flop. Zero. And now with an SPR of less than 3. If he's got me, he's got me. He's going to go with quarter pot, which is what, like 20 bigs. If he jams, we're probably dead, but I'm obviously not folding. Leaving this table bottom right. He calls. I mean, I genuinely think there's a very good chance we're just dead here to like ace, queen, queens, tens. But don't think there's very much to do other than just bet, cry when he shoves. I mean, we're just dead here nearly always, but whatever. Yeah. Not remotely surprised by that. Looking for a jack or a king. And that's neither. Not going to lie, that's pretty irritating. Now we've got Danny dancing, and we don't want Danny dancing. It's where I need to be careful that I don't start just spewing out of frustration, because that's just undone what probably was a reasonable session. What I like to do, because I'm a spiteful cunt, is hold these back the next time this guy's in a big pot, and then just try and distract him with it out of pure unmitigated spite. And all of a sudden, I don't want to play till 12 p.m. because I'm a sulky baby. Really am a sulky baby too. Facing a big squeeze here with the eights. 27-13. Unreliable sample, but it's just going to be like ridiculously strong range. No, we'd have flopped a set. Don't look, Reg. Don't look. Easy check call here with the Queen 10 facing half pot. Easy check call on the turn. Does size up, which is pretty disappointing. Probably check fold river. Triple barrel bluffs are as rare as rocking horse shit. There you go again, just fucking merging ridiculously for a stupid size on the turn. Just a bad player. Not c-bet in this king-queen multi-way. And not calling the turn pro from the guy who's got no money. But we will give him a green tag because he's got no money. Hoping this doesn't get squeezed because I'd like to play a suited ace against this guy. Gun 9 is probably good here, but I don't think we can get too much value. And it was indeed good. Tempted to check raise here, given the flop checked through. And I think this type of player would stab a king or a queen on the flop. But when it gets called, I'm not going to try and raise two people. Do I want to squeeze this hand? I don't think on the button. Flat in. Don't think this type of player is a sort that falls to 3 bets much anyway. So we probably don't have much fold equity. 3 to a flush, 3 to Broadway. Fold. Be a little bit sad about it. Five, 4 suited, 16, 8. No, thank you. A lot of auto folding here. And then as I say that, we pick up the jacks. The 3-bet versus this guy if he opens. Pocket sevens. Let it go versus early position. If he had a full stack, no way I'd be folding. Where's my cards back? I would have won. Obvious fish here. He's going to put it in. He's going to have stabs that we're doing fine against. He's got no money, etc., etc. Probably in trouble when he calls, but I think this is fine. And we suck at. I don't know if these like 10-9s and that in the Ante games are just going to be profitable as an open. I suspect maybe they are actually, because you're just going to win it pre a decent chunk of the time. More messages coming through. Might have some work to do, I suspect. Just catching up with some messages. Don't think there's anything important. Nope. Nothing. That said, I will have to crack on with some work shortly because I can just get it out of the way and not grind 10 and L for another half an hour when I don't particularly want to be anymore. So yeah, in fact, that's just what we'll do. Hang on a minute. 22-0. shitty sample. Just sit out next blind in case I fancy continuing. I typically give myself a few minutes break. If there's any work I need to do, I go and get on with it and then stop playing. And if I get over my sulk, I sometimes continue. Definitely going to be a losing session now, I think. I started the session with 196 USD. In my account, there's 44 in my account, and there's 120 at the tables, 124, 127, 129, 137, 140. Oh, not too bad then. Down about 150 big blinds. Not the end of the world. Still irritating. These antes just fucking eat me alive. They eat everybody alive, I guess. Which is probably why I need to play like more aggressively pre-flop. Like just try and pick up pots pre-flop more often. Because you think, oh, I'm having a decent session here. I haven't lost many big pots. Won a few decent sized pots. And then end of the session, you're like, oh, I thought I maybe won 2 buy-ins there. And you end up winning half a buy-in. And it's because the antes have just absolutely decimated you. I can't imagine there's too many people redlining this game. But my red line in it is literally fucking atrocious. I've never been a red line player anyway, and I'm definitely not a red line player in ante games. Rivering a straight. This guy's just checked the whole way. Gonna block the river. Snap fold, not surprised. This is again another spot where I think I should just bluff. He snap called twice. I think he's just going to have an ace a lot and not call the river. But he does. He turbo calls with an ace king that didn't 3-bet. And I'm glad that's towards the end of my session. That has triggered me too. So yeah, we're just about done. I enjoyed it at the start and then I stopped enjoying it. And yeah, I'm off. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and bye-bye for now.